In this demonstration, I'll give a quick overview of some of the new capabilities that you have inside of the Windows Server 2012 and 2012 R2 version of Server Manager. So as we start the dashboard, it looks quite different to previous versions, but probably the most important thing to take a look at first is if we take a look here at local server, this shows us a lot of the capabilities that we've seen previously through earlier versions of the Server Manager tool on 2008 R2 and earlier. But obviously there are a few different things that are in here as well, and probably the most important one to mention here is that NIC teaming is now something that is just built straight in with Windows Server 2012 and 2012 R2. And in order to manage it and set up new NIC teams, for example, all we need to do is go through, do things such as select an adapter, say that we want to create a new team, select the other teams that we want to, the other NICs that we want to make it a team member with. We can give the NIC a name. So we'll just call it NIC team. We'll keep it quite simple. We can select multiple NICs, no problem there at all. We've got several options in terms of what type of teaming mode do we want? Do we want switch independent, static teaming, or LACP? We'll keep it as switch independent. We've got multiple load balancing modes here as well, such as address hash, Hyper-V port, and dynamic. We'll just keep that as dynamic for now. And then we can also start doing things such as setting up second or not necessarily secondary, like a non-used adapter, so that we can actually have a backup adapter if we do need to. But in this case, I'm just showing you this interface so that you can get an idea of what it's capable of. We'll just hit cancel there. That was just a bit of a quick look at something that has been exposed now through Server Manager in the traditional UI that wasn't there previously. Now, if we go back to the dashboard, the thing that I want to highlight here is really what one of the first steps here is that we can go through and configure the local server, but as we take a look down the list, we can use this as the location where we add roles and features, and throughout some of these other video recordings you'll see more of this. But the important thing here is that we can also now start adding other servers to manage. So if I go through now and say I want to do a search for another server, I've just called these servers Server 01 and Server 02. I can now add Server 02 in. I'm on Server 01 at the moment, so I can now manage both of those directly from this first server. And where things really start getting interesting is you'll notice that nothing really changed over on the left-hand side. But if I do click here, you'll see that now we've got Server 01 and Server 02 as items I can manage. So let's go through and do one more thing, and if I add another server, so if I just do a quick search for the other servers that I've got, and I've got Essentials R2, so I'll add that in. And you'll notice over on the left-hand side, as soon as we add in that R2 server, and it detects all of the server roles that have been installed, it exposes those directly from within this dashboard. So if I went through and then installed the different management tools here, I could go through and start managing and launching the things like the Active Directory Certificate Services tool or the Active Directory Domain Services tool, DHCP Manager, DNS Manager, for example. But in this case, I don't have them installed, so you'll see that they don't actually become available. But if I did install the remote server admin tools for these particular roles that have been added in, then that means that I'd then be able to do a quick launch directly through here. Now, because Server 01 and Server 02 are just the Hyper-V servers, all I really want to do with these servers is actually just manage other Hyper-V servers. I don't want to be managing DHCP or DNS or anything like that. So what I can do down here is just go down and choose Remove Server. And all that will do is just remove it from the console. It's not removing it from the domain or anything like that. It's just moving it directly from the Server Manager console. So that's just a very quick look at some of the things that we can do inside of here. The important things to note is that this is really built to go through and give us the ability to multiple servers with multiple roles. The machines need to be part of the same domain / forest. Otherwise, you won't really have the admin credentials in order to do so. So that's just a very quick look at some of these capabilities. And as we go through some of the different demonstrations, you'll see that we do go through and rely on Server Manager very heavily for some of these.